Just perfect. Good. I'd just like to say, okay, once again, thanks for joining the call. Apologies for, I know it was advertised earlier on in the month, but we've had a few staff sickness and ill health. Even this evening, the same thing. So apologies, but we felt that it was important. We need to get this information out to you regarding the membership for the forthcoming season. And like I said, we will send it out to all the members. And a video recording of that, so they can listen to what the plans are and what the benefits are of being a member of Squash Wales. Just a few rules. It's an open session. Put yourselves on mute, but if you've got any questions as we're going through it, I'm not going to be talking or rambling on to you, far from it. It's more just giving you a few pointers, information, the important parts. But if anyone's got any questions during the session, you can put your hand up. I'm not IT wizard on this, but there's a button you can put your hand up, or just put it in the chat room. I don't know why you're laughing, Dylan. I don't know what you're trying to say there.
Nothing. I'm just listening to you.
Yeah, but just put it in the chat room, and we'll pick it up as we go. So as long as everybody's happy with that, we'll move on to what we're going to chat about. Is the membership, the benefits of being a Squash Wales member, how you can become a member, etc., the different categories. Then briefly on to the league matters, which will be Nick Edwards, and then we've got a fund, a cost of living fund that Phil Brayley's going to talk about, and then it's open to you guys then of any questions or anything you want to throw at us that we can try and answer and alleviate any of the problems that you might have. Okay. If you move on, Russ. Point out to you this year, actually Squash Wales are extremely proud of a membership package that we're putting together, but more importantly, one of the first years ever, the benefits for the members. Everyone, why do I have to join Squash Wales? I have to join to be a team player, etc., be a coach. But we're trying and working hard behind the scenes to give the members more benefit and value for their money. I'm not going to go through the entire list. Don't worry, I'm not going to bore you. But you can see an extensive range of benefits on the screen there. Namely for you keen guys and girls who watch Squash TV, we can get that now for £45 each member rather than paying $89.99. So there's a huge saving there for people who are subscribing to Squash TV. Obviously, Caracal, with all their rackets and equipment and grips, not everyone might use Caracal rackets, but some people might use grips, etc. There's a 20% save in there. So those two alone are fantastic offers that for us squash players, especially in this current climate, any discounts we can get, it's value for money. The main, I won't, squash levels, etc. They're all a bit bespoke. If you use those kind of things, obviously it's fantastic. But the other one, which is vitally important, is the comprehensive insurance cover that we've got now. It covers personal injury, loss of income. If it's God forbid, it's one of those we don't want to use, but it's there if we have to, for a hospital stay, physios. I know if there's any questions on that, I know Phil can take over a bit later on or now regarding the ins and outs of that cover. But if we were to sign up to that individually, that's well over £100 a year to have that type of cover, which like I said, it's a cover that none of us want to use, but it's there just in case. Obviously with the game of squash, you never know. With regards to the other benefits, I'm not sure. I always say it every time on the call with the reward scheme. I preach to everyone about the savings you can have, and it takes a little bit of time to be able to sign up to it. But even just using your weekly shop, you'll get your money back within the first month of paying Squash Wales, just with the reward scheme with your Sainsbury's, Asda, Morrison's, Tesco's, whatever shop. You can get up to some of these up to 9 and 10% discount on shopping at these type of supermarkets. There are hundreds and thousands of other offers that you take time and search for that might apply to you, but I always just use that one because I live in a house with some greedy people, and you save an absolute fortune just on a normal weekly shop that we all have to do. later on, I know I spoke about it earlier. Another benefit of being a sort of Squash Wales member is a new fund that the government and Sport Wales have just put in. It's called the Cost of Living Fund, where you can help support the club, individual, which I know Phil is going to talk about a little bit later and go into a bit more detail on that. But again, there's another benefit there for our members. And, you know, we feel really proud this year that we're really working hard. We are still adding to this list, but as we speak, these are the benefits that that we can offer, and you know, think our members will benefit from. Good. So just go on to the next one, please, Russ. As you can see, again, I'm not going to go down every category. The membership prices and update for the 2023-24 season are as follows. There is a slight increase. We're conscious of that with the time that we live in, etc. But you know, unfortunately, the increase of costs across the board have gone up, and it's been several years since, you know, Squash Wales have even put an increase up on membership. But what we're trying to say is that, you know, that with the added benefits that we've got, totally outweigh the little minimum cost that it's gone up by. So that's why we were conscious and working really hard behind the scenes to make sure that although this sort of the membership cost has gone up slightly, we're giving our members back, or the chance to sort of earn their money back sort of straight away within the first couple of weeks. Another important point that sort of, it's not an actual benefit as such, but on the engagement call, I think it was the last time, you know, a lot of questions were asked about, you know, if I join in February, I only get a couple of months, etc. Is there any way we can have a rolling 12-month contract? We've gone away with that, put the proposal to the board have said yes, you know, fantastic. So now we've got a 12-month membership, a rolling 12-month membership from when you join. So it doesn't matter what time of the year you join, you get your 12 months, and you get obviously the benefits for those 12 months, whatever time of year that you join, which, you know, I think that is another benefit in kind sort of thing. On that note, I know Nick Edwards, he's probably staring at me through his camera there now. Memberships are due on the 1st of April. So obviously all of us that are playing league squash, team squash, most people, it'll automatically renew. But just to be conscious that if it doesn't, and there are league matches outstanding, you know, we still need to try and get our players to be members after that date, because I think the season's, depending on where you play, finishes sort of April, May, June sort of time, really. But again, as that 12-month rolling contract goes, that's fantastic, because if you join in May, you get the full membership until May. So hopefully I haven't gone through that too quickly for you, but I just wanted to show you really the huge benefits that are available to us all. You know, we've got to sort of, you know, go out there on the computer, sign up to it, but there's some fantastic benefits for us all for next season for Squash Wales. I'll hand you over to Nick now, who's going to give you a little rundown on the league squash at present. So thanks for your time, everyone.
Thanks.
Okay, thanks very much. Thanks so much, Dave. Good evening, everybody. As it says on the screen there, the League Constitution and Rules Working Party is alive and well. We've had a couple of meetings so far, and we have another one at 7:30 this evening. We're looking at reviewing all the rules, and we have around about 30 or so that are under discussion. We are making some good progress with this, and my thanks go out to the League Working Party. They're an engaged, objective, professional group, and we are having some really good discussions around rules for all of Squash Wales, not just parochial issues that some people want to talk about, but we are talking about changing the rules for all of Wales. The base of the rules that are there, obviously, to maintain squash, and we're looking at rules designed by the members, for the members, and to implement it on behalf of the members. We are keeping all the clubs up to date with as the rules are changing or potential rules are changing, and each of the club leads gets the minutes of the meetings, so all clubs are engaged with the kind of changes that are being made. It's not an endless list, and if there are clubs that want to put forward other proposed changes, we as a group are very happy to look at those and to discuss them and decide whether changes should be made. We do ask clubs to submit templates for these, rather than just say we don't like Rule 6 or whatever. Put forward an idea of why you don't like it, what that new rule should look like, and this is something that the group can then discuss. Again, all clubs are being involved in this, and at the end of every meeting, the minutes are sent out, and the finalised rules and constitution will be circulated to all clubs well in advance of the league AGM, which will be at the end of June, to make sure that all clubs are aware of the changes, and then those rules can hopefully be adopted at that time. That's really all I needed to say about that. I think the League Constitution Working Party is working well, and we are making good progress. So I'd like to hand back to Phil.
Thanks, Nick. Evening all. Okay, so Squash Wales Membership Fund, historically in many of the years that I've been involved in with Squash Wales, one of the questions we were regularly asked by our members is, well, what does Squash Wales do for us? Well, I think having seen the benefits that Dave has described for your membership, I think that is a clear example of what Squash Wales is doing for you, our members. And this is yet another initiative that, with the support of Sport Wales, we have put together to assist our members, particularly in this time of cost of living challenges, where we recognise everybody is suffering in one way or another. So we've put together this Squash Wales Membership Fund with an amount of money that's designed to address the challenges, particularly from the cost of living crisis. And this is designed to support clubs with funding for any initiative that is designed to protect players that are playing squash in Wales, or to enhance the participation, and particularly in a number of areas which are a priority for us and for our partners, Sport Wales, in the area of grassroots, so junior squash, any initiatives that are supporting juniors at any level, female participation, and underrepresented groups, which is a focus of ours. It's designed to address initial challenges, but what we're looking for is results that are going to be sustainable over time. So the idea is you wouldn't have a one-off payment and it addresses a one-off issue. It addresses issues over time. There's an application criteria, and this is available for private clubs, teams, individuals, groups, and those playing out of local authority leisure centres. So basically, it's available to anybody for any initiative. The application in the first instance needs to go into Squash Wales, and this is an expression of interest. So yes, I want to apply for a grant. What we would then give you is the application criteria, so what you have to fill in. This is not a lengthy and overly bureaucratic document. This is something that is relatively simple to complete. The more information you provide, the more chance there is of you being successful in your application. And this will be considered by the Board of Directors. So the Board of Directors will meet, consider all the applications, and with the criteria that we've outlined and the priority areas that we've asked people to look at, those will be given preferential treatment in applying these awards. Closing date, you can see the 30th of April. And that's pretty much the highlight of this Squash Wales Membership Fund. We will be sending the communication out with all the details of this to all the clubs and members, so that you can give some thought to this, and hopefully put your applications into Squash Wales. There's nobody else has any influence on how this is allocated or awarded. This is solely down to Squash Wales, and Squash Wales providing the support for its members. So that's it. Happy to turn this back over to Dave now and take any questions on this or any other part of the presentation.
Thanks, Phil. Like Phil said, if anyone's got any comments or questions, please feel free now. Don't be shy. There's only a few of us on the call, so now's the time to sort of ask any questions, and we can try and sort of answer, or even put it back to you that if there's some benefits on there that perhaps you would like us to try and source, not that we can get every benefit, etc., we're more than happy to try and do that as well. So, Darren, you've got your hand up. Fire away, sir.
Hello. So I've been talking to Tom and Simon over the last couple of months in Squash Wales, because we're going to start a junior section in Porthcawl next month. So I was advised to go for a Be Active grant, having just had one successfully completed for some squash refurbishment work. So in terms of going for that grant, then to help fund the junior coaching session starting, am I better off going for this one now that Phil's just talked about instead?
No, I continue with the Be Active grant, Darren, on that one, because that's specifically for, like you said, you're setting up a junior squash, the coaching, it's the courts, etc., equipment and things like that, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So continue along that one, Darren. I would for that fund. The cost of living fund is more, I think Phil would jump in there, it's more like for hardship, for sort of things that way, rather than to Be Active is specifically for setting up of the junior squash with the equipment, etc.
So if we're struggling to pay our utility bills, for example, which is another thing that we're having issues with, is that, and I'm sure everybody else is as well, but is that something that this grant is more designed for?
Not really. The problem with the paying a utility bill, it tends to be a one-off, and I described in my presentation that we were looking for a project that was sustainable over time. And look, we don't want to be prescriptive on this, Darren. If you want to submit an application for costs that you are unable to meet, then please feel free to do so. We can't guarantee we would approve that, because the problem with that is you're going to get everybody and his brother saying, oh yeah, well, my bills have gone up 100%. I need some support with paying that. Can you help us with money towards it? The problem is it's only a one-off payment and it doesn't solve a longer term problem. But by all means, like I said, we haven't been prescriptive. We've just given you what the priority areas are that we will consider applications for.
Okay.
Is that all right, Darren? Yeah, all good?
Yeah, that's fine. Thanks very much.
No problems. Arwell, did you have your hand up? I wasn't quite sure. Sorry, I didn't.
I did, but I took it down because Darren raised the issue of utility bills. I'm just wondering if you were, because I mean it doesn't affect us because we're public courts, but I can imagine it is stressful for private run clubs, particularly small ones. And I just wondered, obviously one of the responses for smaller clubs facing bigger utility bills is just to hike up their membership fees. So would something like a reduction in the increase in membership fees where individuals are facing hardship and not able to meet the higher membership fees, would something like that be worth looking at? I know it's difficult to quantify.
I'm not throwing a miss one past to Phil now, but like I said, the board sort of will, and Richard's on the call as well. The board sort of have, like I said, it's not prescriptive, but the board would have sort of more of an idea what with that kind of thing. So I'll pass that on to them if that's okay, Arwell.
Phil, do you want to take this one, or shall I?
Go on, then, Richard.
Sorry, guys.
That's all right. That's fine. I think the danger, and we have discussed this at length, is if we get into conversations about individual financial circumstances, it gets very tricky to start comparing, apples with apples, etc. So go back to Phil's previous point, is what we're really looking for is where clubs are struggling to perhaps develop squash, or they want to start something, but the costs are prohibitive, but there's an impact, in 6 months down the road because you can get that session up and running, or the cost of transport to attend something that allows you to qualify to do so, that kind of thing, rather than individual payments or one-off payments that resolve a membership problem for a particular year. So I think we're looking for that slightly longer term plan of, okay, if we essentially concede fund something that you can't get over the line at the moment because you can't fund it, because of the costs that are associated, can we give you that little bit of extra money that allows that session to happen, which actually then generates some members, which makes paying those bills that little bit easier. Does that seem fair?
Yeah, I think if I can add to that, Richard, look, if somebody comes up with some really whizzy idea that we look at it and think, oh yeah, if they do that, that's going to protect their membership and ensure they don't lose members and maybe attract more members, and it's tied into something like that, then we will consider it. Like I said, we're not ruling anything out, but it needs to be well thought out in line with our priorities. And if it's not, there needs to be a really good argument as to why we should fund something and what the benefit is and how you're able to measure that benefit. We're looking for a return on this investment, not for us, but for whoever makes the application. What is your return on the investment that we're going to give you that is going to drive more participation or protect what you already have? Okay, Armo? Good.
Yeah. Any other questions that we can see? Anyone? I know, Dylan, you're dying to ask a question. I can see by you.
I'm just listening, to be honest here. This is all new to me, so yeah.
Are you a Squash TV member, Dylan, or are you subscribed to that, or Caracal, or anything like that?
No, I play with Caracal grips, and that's only, yeah.
Well, there we are. Two boxes of grips, 20% off. There's your membership paid for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll have to look more into it, I think.
Yeah, no, it's definitely it's one of those, a little bit of time to sort of look through it, but the benefits there, whether it's squash grips, rackets, or you watch it on the Squash TV, you know, like I say, I always go on about the food shop with the reward scheme, you know, that everyone has to eat. So
yeah, definitely.
So
yeah.
I'm trying to think anyone else is. Can't see any hands. Is anything in the chat rooms?
No, nothing in the chat.
Dave.
No. Okay, right. If everyone's happy with the sort of the presentation, what the next sort of steps? Well, as we said earlier, we've recorded the session today. I know it's short and sharp, but it's, you know, just wanted to get across what the prices are, but you know what the members get for their money for next season. We felt that was important. This will all get sort of emailed and sent out to all the club leads and the members along with a link for the video if they want to listen to the session back. Phil obviously has gone through a little bit of the funding criteria, but that will also get sent out in a separate email, I believe. So clubs and individuals are, you know, clear on what they need to do. They sort of, although there is a criteria, as Phil said, it's pretty open really for sort of innovative ideas that anyone puts forward. They will all be looked at, you know, with the due course. The next engagement session will be sort of around the squash levels, the ranking and the benefits, and the sort of the sort of different sort of communities you can forge for the squash levels. So that will be the next engagement session, but that communication will be sent out to you sort of, you know, in due course and nearer the time. But just like to sort of just say thank you for giving up your evening on a Monday to listen to this. You know, we just feel it's important to be able to show you that we are working hard behind the scenes to try and give all our members sort of maximum value for their money, because we appreciate you all being members, but you know, we want to show, you know, we try and give back as well.
Right, thanks, Dave.
Good.
Thanks, Dave.
Oh, go on, yeah. You want to stop record now, Russ? I don't know.
Yeah, stop recording.